Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss the very basic core services offered by Microsoft Azure. Azure Core Services. Understanding Azure Core Services or the fundamental services is the key to understand Microsoft Azure. There are hundreds of services offered by Microsoft Azure, of which the core services which we are going to discuss in this video are important. Let us categorize the core services into four categories. They are compute services, networking services, storage services, and data services. Let us discuss about it one by one. Compute services. Microsoft Azure offers many ways to host your application. The word compute refers to the hosting model on which your application runs on. If we want to have a full control over the infrastructure on which our application is running, we can very well use Azure Virtual Machines. Azure Virtual Machines are cloud-based virtual machines or the VMs that are hosted on Microsoft Azure. If we want to have a scalability and availability in virtual machines, then we can opt for virtual machine scale sets. Azure Kubernetes Services offers a managed Kubernetes environment for running our containerized workloads. On the other hand, Container Apps provides a serverless environment to run our containers. Azure Batch Services provides an environment to run large-scale parallel HPC workloads. HPC stands for High Performance Computing. Azure App Services is a managed service for hosting web applications, mobile applications, RESTful APIs, etc. Azure Functions are used to host our workload, which are event-driven with short-lived processes. It is also called as serverless functions. Azure Service Fabric is a distributed platform that helps to run containerized stateful services in many environments, including Azure or on-premises. Networking services. We will divide Azure networking services into three subcategories. They are network connectivity, network security, and network monitoring. Under network connectivity, we got many services that helps to connect resources in and out of Azure. Some of them are virtual network, virtual WAN, express route, VPN gateway, and Azure DNS. Under network security, we have got network security groups, private links, Azure firewalls to secure Azure resources from the threats. To enhance traceability, monitoring, and alerting, we can use Azure Monitor, Azure Network Watcher, and so on. These are all the core services, but Azure offers even more services under networking category. Azure Storage Services offers highly available, scalable, durable, and secure storage for various use cases. Azure Disks and its related entities allows data to be persistently stored and accessed from virtual machines as hard disks. Storage account helps to store objects of blocks like pictures, videos, text, and binary data. It also helps to use managed file shares of NFS, which acts like a file system, and it can be shared across the network. Storage account also helps to store table data and messages using Azure tables and queues. Data services. Azure Data Services provides a cloud-based database platforms for our application. These services are easy to deploy, scale, and manage data-driven applications. Azure Relational Database Services consists of suite of Microsoft databases that includes Azure SQL databases, Azure databases for open source engines like MySQL, PostgreSQL, and many more. It also supports NoSQL and caching databases like Azure Cosmos DB, MongoDB, and Redis. Azure also helps to move the data with the help of these data migration services. There are n number of services offered by Azure. Apart from the core services, Azure also offers other services like AI and ML services, web services, mobile services, chatbots, IoT services, security services, hybrid cloud services, and many more. Well, that's it for this lecture. Thank you. Have a nice day.